we began dreaming about what the next site for Nuru would be. And what we knew we wanted to do was grow and scale as fast as we possibly could and push the very limits of our company's capacity, human resources, financial resources, technical capacity. Why? Because the need is so massive in this country that if we were just to sort of grow slowly or maybe organically, we would never make a dent in the energy access issues that the people of Congo face. And our philosophy as a company is, if not us, who? So we are ready to take that responsibility on as a company. We all went to Ndosho Community and just started walking around. And the goal was really just to get a sense of who lives in this side of the city, what kind of people are here. So we would just walk into people's houses and sit down and have a chat. What's your energy access issues like? What's working well? What's not working well? It became clear most things were not working well, and they were very, very eager for a more robust energy solution for that neighborhood. And coincidentally, as we were just doing one of our walks in the city, we just saw this NGO, and it looked like people were going in to play soccer, football. And we said, all right, if there's a football match taking place here, there's a lot of land available, at least enough to be able to run a game. So we walked in and we saw a huge piece of unoccupied land run by a local NGO called Kajed. And we immediately began dreaming. Could this be the origin of our production in Goma long term? But in terms of the philosophy of the company, we don't want to be a remote operator transmitting who knows what power into communities we serve. We want the people who are served by the power to be able to look and say, that is what is producing this energy. A lot of it is building the confidence of the communities that we serve, that we are technically sophisticated enough to bring them a solution. Again, that's not just good enough to get them some electrons, but is really like a world-class commitment to that neighborhood. So I don't know that there is a more labor-intensive site on Earth to put up a solar array than the one that we had in Ndosho. So it was a huge amount of labor, clearing the site, leveling the site, using heavy machinery, human labor, getting it to enough even site conditions that we had the right hydrological conditions that the water would roll off the site without potentially flooding the panels. It took a lot of work in doing, mobilizing really 100% Congolese civil engineering firms and Congolese labor, which is really important for the company. Just to get it to the place where we could start chiseling these holes out of rock ourselves. So again, it was just incredibly, incredibly hard work. And what I can say about the Kajad site is it was done by the sweat and labor of our community. So we didn't bring in heavy machines to tut. We hired hundreds of people to come and just with their sweat build the necessary infrastructure for us to deploy the site. So although Nuru owns it and we operate it, the true ownership of the site is the community of Ndosho. Without them, this would not have happened. So to say that I'm proud of our team for what we accomplished is a huge understatement, because I cannot think, our engineer said he could not think of a worse site in the world to put the panels and the racking. Tesla had the worst shipping conditions they've ever had in the history of the company to do this. Solar Century refused to send their team. There's only one guy that would come to the site. Our team were really brand new at this scale. So the odds of it going right were honestly very low. And the fact that we did it it's a miracle that the company was able to do what it did with the site conditions we had. I think maybe the last thing to say is it was a monumental challenge on the sales side as well. What we were dealing with in the market was a perception that solar power is extremely unreliable, extremely weak, and extremely intermittent. So if you have a little solar panel on your roof, when it runs, it's fine. And if you want to run a light and you get your own system, that's okay. But if you wanted to run your household on it, ridiculous. That's a ridiculous idea. So the perception is solar is weak power. So coming in with a massive utility scale solar solution with huge storage capacity to manage loads, we couldn't resonate with our client base. It just seemed like we were coming in and selling little solar panels and we're making all these claims about what we can power in their house, and they thought it was ridiculous. So our sales team had to engage almost like in a cross-cultural exercise where who are these people in this community? What are their priorities? How can we communicate what we're doing in a way that's comprehensible to them? So there's the hard technology part, and then there's the soft culture part. And the company, just by grace and really as kind of a miracle, was able to get exactly the right people at exactly the right time to execute this vision. So yeah, when I look back, it's fresh. It's 2 days ago that we were able to really commission the site. I think my retrospective thought is that this shouldn't have worked on any level. This should have been a failure. We should never have gotten the financing for it. We should never have been able to manage the logistical challenges. We should never have executed on sales. It should have been a failure, and it wasn't. And for me, that's the triumph of overcoming extremely difficult challenges over and over again. And that's what we're going to start tomorrow. Ndosho's done. We've got a huge pipeline that we've got to work on now. So this spirit, this like never say die, punching up kind of spirit that this company has, never accepting that we can't do it, always believing in ourselves and our team, that is the spirit. I'm so proud that that's our DNA right now. That's the DNA that's going to get us into the future.